Well, we're proud to have with us today you've been an instructor at the Black Hills in the past and a representative of Tamron. We've got Erica Robinson. Erica, how are you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How are you?
We're doing good.
Good.
And we were just commenting we were getting together in person this year, but unfortunately, this method looks like is what we're going to be doing for at least the short time.
Foreseeable future.
Yes.
And maybe it's a good thing because
it's not too bad.
You heard that we were going to do it in Sturgis this year, and I guess 250,000 bikers have just descended upon Sturgis. So maybe it's a good thing we didn't do it this year.
I'm perfectly happy to be safe here in my living room. So I'm good. Yeah. And I've been teaching kind of outside of or mostly on Zoom and whatnot, and it's not so terrible. I've been able to connect with people from Quebec, and I had someone in my class from Portugal the other day. So it's kind of nice. It's a little bit of everyone everywhere. So.
Yeah, and that makes it a little easier, I think, for the people that can't actually physically go to South Dakota this year that can do it from wherever they are. So
exactly. That's the silver lining.
That's maybe an advantage over some of the disadvantages of not being in person.
So,
well, we certainly enjoyed working with you in the past. One of the disadvantages this year is people can't borrow the Tamron lenses, and Fred and I are both Tamron users, so.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to ship us a case and let us play with them for a while, we'll get them back to you eventually.
Sure.
Hey, I helped her with those cases. Those cases are heavy.
I know, they are heavy.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your interest in photography?
Sure. So yes, I am a national tech rep with Tamron USA. I've been with them for almost 5 years now, and I love what I do. Mostly what that fancy word means is that I'm an educator, that I help run our seminars and our workshops and our events generally around the country, teaching all different genres of photography, everything from my specialty, which is travel photography and storytelling, to night sky photography, to macro, to environmental portraits, a little bit of everything. I work on an amazing team of 9 people, and I always talk about in my classes how I love my team because not only are we just work so well together, but we're so incredibly different. That's what makes it so special. I've learned from each and every one of them. I really do mean that from the just such great people. So I consider myself very, very fortunate. I went to school for photography and graphic design. I went to Bridgewater State College in Massachusetts. I worked for a cruise line for a little while as a photographer. I worked for a local camera store here in Boston as a sales associate, kind of where I learned the technical side of things for gear. So I've really always been involved with photography in some way, shape, or form.
How long have you been with Tamron now?
I'd say about 4.5 years.
That's good.
Yeah.
Also, we want to know what workshops you're going to be virtually teaching this year at the Black Hills Photo Shootout.
So I'm going to be teaching my travel photography and storytelling class. And I think he has me down for some night sky photography workshops too, which again are also some of my favorites. I'd say those are 2 of my top favorite classes that I teach. And specifically the travel photography and storytelling, because I have since joining with Tamron, and even before that, I think I always knew that I was very interested in travel photography, but now more recently understanding how storytelling is such a deep-rooted part of that, and how they go so hand in hand, because you leave with one story and you come back with another, regardless of where you go, whether that's just in your backyard or that's 18 hours away in Australia. You leave with one story, come back with another, and there are so many in between. So that class is very special to me.
And do you have a website that we can share with our viewers?
Sure. I am ericarobinsonphoto.com is my website. I'm also on social media as Erica Robinson Photo, so you can find me on Instagram there as well.
Good. Well, we're going to put that down here so people can go out there and check it out. Also, I want to mention that I recently saw a video of you on YouTube at Thorswell And you were
Oh,
there
yeah.
like 6 months after I was there, and ironically, we were using the same Tamron lens to photograph. The only difference is, I think you were there closer to
I was
high
thinking about it.
tide. I was able to get closer to the well because you almost got drenched.
Yep. I was almost in the well, but I'm again, as I say, I'm really grateful for my team. Ken always has my back on stuff, so he was there making sure that I didn't get sucked into the well. But no, we went there. We timed it out specifically so that we would have a ton of water rushing into the well, which maybe wasn't the safest way to do it. But that was a great trip.
Yep.
And using the 1735 to shoot that was perfect. It's exactly what it needed. So.
And the difference when you were there, you had nobody else around that I could see. We had about 6 or 7 other photographers. So one of the things I did is I flew a drone straight up over the well to get the water coming up. And
Oh, cool. Where's that footage? I would love to see it.
we've got it. It's on one of our podcasts from 2 years ago. So I can send you a link on it.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
So
Yeah, I had a drone for a little while, and I would, before I get another drone, I would like to take a class on how to use it properly and how to fly. And I think now you have to have an actual license to fly them, which I think is very important because I was terrified of crashing that thing and hurting somebody.
Yep.
So not only am I afraid of crashing it, okay, it crashes in the street. I've lost $1,000. That's not cool, but I also just don't want to hurt someone or something. So I need to learn how to properly fly them before I do that again.
actually, in the United States, you need a license if you're going to fly commercially. It's a 107. If you're
Okay.
flying it non-commercially, all you have to do is register the drone, which is $5. And that's not per drone, that's for you. So regardless of how many drones you own, just $5.
Okay.
And I think you do that every 5 years, I think.
Yes.
I think
Renew
it's
every 5
$5 for
years.
5 years.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'll look into that. But I still think I want to take a class.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess that up.
We'd actually had discussed in the past of doing that. In fact, I was going to teach at one of the Black Hills events,
Oh,
but we just never know what the weather was going to be and exactly where to go or how many people might be interested in that, so we just never did it. But it's still in the back, maybe in the future.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and they're getting easier to fly all the time. I
Yes.
built my first ones about 8-9 years ago. Do you know the photographer Doug Gardner?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
He had a TV show called Wild Photo Adventures, and I was a field producer for him, and that's where I got the idea of using a GoPro to put on a drone, and that led me into this crazy world of drones.
Oh, cool. So what do you fly now?
Right now I have 2 DJI, I have a little Mavic Air and a Mavic Pro Zoom. I had
Cool.
in fact, we had it, was it 2 years ago? We had the Phantom with us out in South Dakota. You weren't there that year. That was the year it was canceled at the last minute. We went ahead and had the event anyway, and on one of the horse ranches, they flew it over with the horses. Got some nice
Oh,
aerials.
wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Fred,
But this is supposed to be about you. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a couple of drones. I have 2 uniques.
Okay.
yeah, his drones are unique.
Yeah. So
That's with a Y, Y-U-N-E-E-C.
I have not been flying as much lately because as an enthusiast, you're limited where you can fly and how and that
Okay.
type of thing. But this is about you. Tell us more about yourself.
Well, I mean, what else?
Well,
So
you do photography. You love it.
Yep.
Do you have any other hobbies that either branch off from that or are totally separate?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm involved in kind of a little bit of everything. I was involved with the CrossFit world for a little while. I love to lift. I've always been an athlete. I was a competitive swimmer for like 20 years. And once I got out of that, I decided I didn't want to. I really just didn't want to be in the pool ever again. And that sounds terrible. I
understand.
loved
I
it for-
did swimming I was in the high school swimming team
Yeah?
in the local.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good for you, and it's just such a great sport. But I I did it for so long. I was just sick of staring at the bottom of the pool. So I
I understand.
moved on from that, and I got involved with lifting, and I really like that. So I find it's also really nice to do on the road. I spend on a normal year like 85% of my life traveling on the road. So I found that it was really nice to have kind of a community out there. That I could just show up and kind of immediately speak the language and know what I was doing and know what other people were doing and be involved that way. But, not traveling much on the road these days, so I haven't been stopping into many gyms. My friend has a gym back in California, so I lift back there, but not as exciting these days, I'd say. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I travel is still such a big part of my life that I'm working on trying to figure out how to or when that might be kind of coming back to life, but I'm patient. So
good. Do you consider yourself a generalist in photography, or do you have a specific field that you really lean or really enjoy?
A generalist, is that what you said? Sorry.
Yeah, as far as photography is concerned.
I consider myself more in the world of travel photography and storytelling. That's really where I kind of find my genre and the pocket that I fit into best. We teach a little bit of everything, which I love, but I find that with all of the travel that I do and how it again relates so much to storytelling, that's really the direction in which I have been going and the direction in which I want to go. I want to tell longer form stories, not just take a quick picture, turn around and walk away, but I want it to be, peeling back the onion layers of somebody and figuring out of somebody, someplace, something, whatever that is, figuring out a little bit deeper how to tell that person, place, or thing's story, put that onto paper.
Right, and that's one of the workshops that you're going to be conducting virtually. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Yep. Yeah. I love that one.
Well, that is great. Do you have any other final questions for Erica?
Oh, you ask them all.
Do you have anything that you would like to sum up for our viewer listeners? And we want to encourage everybody to go out there, register, and sign up for Erica's virtual workshops.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited that the workshop is still happening this year, even though it's virtual. I think that there's still so much to learn, and there's still so many connections to be made, even though it's virtual, even though we don't have that in-person same type of connection. It's still, if we have the time to do it, we might as well take advantage of that now and really kind of take our photography or just our passion to the next level, whatever that is. If you're a painter, learn how to do a different type of painting. If you, if you've always been an enthusiast about dogs or cats, maybe you can start fostering. I was recently fostering a cat. That was wild. So there's, all sorts of things we could be doing right now. So Even though we're stuck at home, try and find that silver lining and that positive and just go be safe. So.
Oh, it sounds good, and hopefully we're...
thank you guys so much for having me on the podcast.
Oh, we appreciate your time, and thank you for coming on, and we're looking forward to next year when we can all be back in person again.
But until then, I agree with you. I think that there's definitely a silver lining, and you can reach out a lot further. You don't have to worry about this year about hotel reservations or
flights
or anything like that.
Or getting stuck behind like you did.
Or getting stuck in an airport, yes.
No!
Yeah, Fred got stuck in Denver, right?
Yes.
Yeah, overnight.
Oh, we could exchange airport stories or flight stories all day. We're going to make like an all-day podcast about that. Sure
let me tell you, I've had situations where I'm sprawled out on my luggage, and one of the most, I don't know if it was fun or not, Baltimore airport, got stuck there overnight. Whew.
Oh.
Yeah, my worst experience was in Dulles in Washington.
So
don't even want to go into it.
But you probably are the ace champion of airport stories, so anything that I have probably
some good ones.
pales in comparison. So
well, at least we don't have to worry about that this year.
If we've all flown once before, I'm sure we have a story. So.
The only thing we need to curse this year is our computers for screwing up Zoom or something.
Yep.
I know, right? I couldn't even get my computer to unblock my camera this morning.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Well, thank you again. We really appreciate your time. And we look forward to the Black Hills photo shootout this year.
And to seeing you.
Yeah, virtually seeing you.
So
I love it. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Great.
For sure.
Erica, thank you again.
excellent.
Have a good day, guys.
All right.